Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Ask Doc live call today, Friday, July the 16th. Our regular host, Rebecca Kozak, and our regular tech guy, John T. McCallier, are on vacation. So your hosts today will be myself, Nasima Omer, and Ruth Ellen Sanchez. And of course, we have our keynote speaker every week, the reason for our calls, Dr. Joel Wallach. And I want to thank everybody behind the scenes, Michael Zwirling, and everybody who make this particular 2-hour Ask Doc Live call possible on Zoom. I just have a couple of notes before we get started, and then we'll turn it over to Dr. Joel Wallach. First of all, I want to say good morning, good day to everybody, wherever you may be. Feel free to invite your guests, family members, friends, neighbors, anyone to join in this call, and they can join in anytime during this call. These calls do get recorded, and they are available for you to listen at your own time and share with others this very valuable information, all from your one-stop shop website called askdoclive.com. The content of this program is to provide nutritional education information only. This program is not meant to take place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. And we are honored to have one of the founding fathers of epigenetics here to guide us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health. Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome, Dr. Wallach. How are you today?
Well, very fine, Nasima. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. And thank you, Ruth Ellen. The two of you ladies, I'm sure will make this happen nicely. And you just, am I ready to go, or are you still waiting a while? Or
You're ready to go, Doc.
Oh, okay. Okay. I need to hear the starting whistle. Here we go. Okay. All right. What I want to do is kind of put things in perspective. I want to go back and say that this whole epigenetics thing started back 2,000 years ago, when there were, I think it was like something like 300 BC. There were 8 years in a row where there was a pandemic. First time there was a pandemic of that nature, 8 years in a row in Egypt. And of course, Moses was running in and out of the Pharaoh's palace saying, hey, let these Hebrew slaves go, and this pandemic will stop. God is putting all this stuff on you because you've enslaved these Hebrews. They were enslaved for 400 years. And then these pandemics started. Well, I went back and I found out what were these slaves doing for 400 years? Well, it turns out that they were not washing clothes and babysitting and cooking and things like that. These Hebrew slaves were working in the fields, growing barley primarily, and then after some 100 years or so, they began to grow also wheat. So barley and wheat were their major crops. And this was the main food for the Egyptian military, the Egyptian royalty, and so on. And this was their main job. Now, the Hebrews were banned from eating these things, but they were growing it for the Egyptians. Well, it got worse and worse and worse for those 8 years. The Egyptians were dying by the thousands. And in the 8th year, the Pharaoh's oldest son died. And so the Pharaoh said, I better let these Hebrew slaves go. So he let them go. The next year, there was no more pandemic. And it turns out that the reason why the Hebrews weren't getting the pandemic and dying of this, whatever it was, we don't know if it was a virus or, but we don't know what the bug was, because they didn't have the knowledge at that time. We just know the results. But what we do know was that the Hebrew slaves were eating out of their little gardens. They're putting their wood ashes from their stoves into their gardens. They're eating the wood ashes. They're getting minerals. they were not eating the barley and the wheat. That was delegated only to the Egyptian military and the royalty. And so the Hebrew slaves couldn't have any. So they weren't dying. Well, the reason why all these Egyptians were dying was, of course, the barley and the wheat killed their intestines, so they couldn't absorb nutrition. They weren't supplementing, and so their bone marrow was dying. And so when the bug came along, they died of the plague. And so the Hebrews, they're getting their minerals from the wood ashes going into their gardens, and they're eating potatoes and vegetables and dairy and meat and that kind of stuff. Totally different diet. And so that's why the big difference between no death rate in the Hebrews and the 8 years of terrible, tens of thousands of people dying every year in Egypt because they're eating barley and wheat, and their intestines were dead, their immune system was dead, no supplementation. And this is all in history. Now, let's jump to 1880 was the first hydroelectric plant in the world. It was in Michigan, for a little company that made furniture. It's called the Wolverine Chair Factory. Okay. And it was in northern Michigan, and it was 1880. Well, 2 years later, a guy by the name of Thomas Edison and Jonathan Leibs pulled the switch in the first commercial electric generating plant at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, 2 years later, on Pearl Street in New York City on the bluff overlooking the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge. And that was a miracle. Went around the world that they had electricity, blah, 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 blah. Well, in 10 years' time, just about everybody in the industrialized world had switched over to electricity. And so there was no more wood ashes from the wood stoves, the fireplaces, and the fire pits, because everybody had switched to electricity and had clean environment, no smoke, none of that stuff, dirty stuff left over in the house, and everybody was happy. But that was 1882. Okay, and 10 years later, 1892. Well, by 1918 and 1919, the Spanish flu came along, and 800, let's see here, let me back up. 657,000 Americans died in 2 years because of the Spanish flu. And then after the Spanish flu, here comes the Asian flu, HIV, AIDS, polio, H1N1, SARS, MERS, COVID-2, and now COVID-19. I guarantee you there's going to be another one coming along right behind, because there's thousands and thousands of these viruses out there just looking for a home. And of course, there's the variant, the Delta variant, which is in all 50 states in the United States. And in Peru, they have a new variant, which is in 30 countries now, not here yet, but in 30 other countries, called the Lambda C37 variant, which is much more deadly and much more infectious than the Delta variant. So I'm concerned about that. And everybody's running around, screaming about this and screaming about that, but nobody's doing, well, I shouldn't say nobody, only a few are doing everything right. Now, let's drop back to 1936. Well, let's drop back to 1930. 1930, we began to build hydroelectric plants all over the place, and today we have 80,000 dams in America. By 1936, there was a Senate document 264, which said there's no more minerals in our food. 1936, Senate document 264 came out and said there's no more nutritional minerals in our food. It was a huge thing in 1936. Everybody just threw their hands up in the air and said, oh, we'll start making some vitamins and minerals. So these vitamin mineral companies came out and began to make vitamin A and vitamin C and zinc and stuff like that. But nobody was making, the big program. And so things began to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And we are where we are now because nobody really understood what was happening. Well, back starting in 1930 again, when they began to build all these dams, within just a couple of years, there's like 500 hydroelectric plants in the United States, and now there's over 80,000 dams, major dams in the United States alone. And we have all this carbon dioxide going up in the air, and everybody's blaming carbon fuels, fossil fuels. It's absolutely 100% not true. Fossil fuels are not the cause for the carbon dioxide going up. It's the dams. What had happened was we dammed up the rivers, And this was actually a report that came out about, I don't know, 4 weeks ago from LSU, Louisiana State University. And they had done a 10-year study, a $10 million grant from the government. And the study said that each year starting in 1930, there's been 150 million tons of silt and sediment backed up behind these dams. That's per year. That's not total since 1930. That's annually. 150 million tons backed up behind these dams. That was the food for the ocean. That was the food for the deltas. That's the food for the various gulfs, the Gulf of Mexico and so forth. Well, what we did by damming up all these rivers for electricity, we cut off the food supply in the deltas on the East Coast and the Atlantic Ocean, the deltas on the West Coast, the Pacific Ocean, the deltas, the Missouri River Delta, the Mississippi River Delta down into the Gulf of Mexico, which empties 40% of the surface water of the United States. And so we've had this terrible, terrible environmental crisis, which is caused by damming up the rivers because we cut off the food supply to the algae, the seaweed, and all the other plants in the ocean. 3/5 of the world's plants occur in the ocean. 3/5 of the world's plants occur in the ocean. And it's the food of the plants. Carbon dioxide is the food of the plants. Plants are designed to eat carbon dioxide, turn them into amino acids to make proteins. They're carbon chains, and also the carbohydrates and sugars, and also fiber and all the stuff made from carbon chains. And it requires 17 minerals by the algae and the seaweed and so forth to accomplish this. Well, if any one of those 17 minerals is low or missing, the algae and the seaweed can't do this, can't take the carbon dioxide out of the air. And so that's why the carbon dioxide is going up, because we cut off the food supply to the plants in the ocean. And so they can't do their job. And so what we have to do is make some augers and we don't want people to give up their electricity. They're not going to do that. And so what you have to do is auger the silt from behind the dams to go around the dam so it comes downstream, and also over the dam, through the dam, around the dam, under the dam. In the meantime, for the short version, we can prove our knowledge here. We can prove our knowledge by showing everybody, look, the big reef in Australia, the Great Barrier Reef, which is like 1,500 miles long, 1,500 miles long. It's made up of dozens of little reefs. And it's almost dead now. It's been dying for about 20 years. Well, that's because in 1927, 3 years before we built our hydroelectric dams, Australia built 3 hydroelectric dams on the 3 big rivers in Queensland that was feeding the silt and sediment to the Great Barrier Reef, algae and polyps that make and maintain the reef. Well, guess what? When they dammed up those 3 rivers for electricity, they cut off the food supply to the algae and the polyps. And that's why the reef is dying, not because of carbon fuels. Now, here's what's going to happen. When everybody owns a Tesla car, everybody has a totally electric life, the carbon dioxide is going to skyrocket because it's not the fossil fuels that were causing the problem. It was the fact that we cut off the food supply, which is required by the algae and the plankton and the seaweed in the ocean to eat the carbon dioxide. And so this is the scary part about the whole thing. Now, I want to move on a little bit here. The reason why we're having such trouble in the industrialized world with this pandemic, the COVID, and now the Lambda variant, C37 out of Peru, the reason why we're having all these troubles is because we are not getting food with nutrition in it. We still don't have, since 1936, we knew that the food didn't have any in the U.S. Senate document 264, we knew that there was no minerals in our food. Well, farmers didn't have health insurance for their animals, so they began to give their animals nutrition supplements. But doctors said, oh, don't waste your money on vitamins and minerals, just eat well and you get everything you need. When people said eat well, they're thinking, oh, I'm going to eat more wheat, brown, and oats, and then they got sicker and died earlier. And that's why we're having such a struggle, because people think wheat, brown, and oats is good for you. Well, maybe for once a year, for a Christmas cake, once a year, that's it. You can't have wheat 5 times a day. You can't drink it, you can't eat it. Same way with barley, rye, and oats. Otherwise, we'll wind up like the Egyptians, where they were eating nothing but barley and wheat, for 1,000 years. And so you have to learn from history, and we haven't done a very good job of that. And so let's look right now and see where we're at. Florida, now they haven't got any numbers out today, but as of yesterday, we have 41,000 new cases in 5 days in Florida. 41,000 new cases in 5 days in Florida. Last Friday, a week ago, it was 5,300. Sunday, it was 15,800. It surpassed the 12,000 number that New York had a year ago, so it beat New York's numbers. And then jumping to Tuesday of this week, there was 5,000 cases in Florida. Wednesday, let's see, there was 6,425. And yesterday, Thursday, there was 7,011. We don't know how many there are today. And of course, in California, it goes up the same way. And Wednesday, let's go to Friday. Last week, a week ago, was 2,800. Wednesday was 3,886. And yesterday, Thursday, was 3,423. That's just California. That's new cases. Okay, and that's because the people don't have enough nutrition in their food to support their immune system, which then would protect them against the COVID virus. And so this is the problem we have. And so this is why it's urgent that everybody gives up the bad foods. That's why I have the good food, bad food list. And we have a new book out. It's in our warehouse now. You can go to www.drjwallach.com. I don't know if it's up on the website yet, but you can call the number and ask for it. It's Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, 300 pages of recipes for sauces and cooking, every kind of food you can think of, including breads and pancakes and cookies and desserts, and you name it, cooking without the bad foods. And this was a 3-year study by 3 very, very well-known media chefs in Eastern Canada. And they took my recipes and they put them in restaurants, and they kind of managed this experiment and watched what was going on here and talking to people who've been coming there for years and years and years. And 3 weeks later, 3 months later, 3 years later, they're talking to these people and they really enjoyed it and say, for some reason, we're doing a lot better. Our skin problems went away. My gray hair went away. I thought it was old age, but my hair color came back. My arthritis went away just by cooking without the bad foods. And they weren't even consciously supplementing. They were just eating better. And they were able to absorb nutrition that may have been in their food because they weren't getting the damage from the gluten. So I want everybody to get that book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And you can go to Wellness Publications. You can go to www.drjwallach.com. So let's compare. I'm going to be in Australia this evening on a Zoom. So let's compare Australia, okay, with, let's see here, they have 25 million patients, 25 million population, actually about 26 million population, with Texas with 28 million population, very, very close. Australia has 912 dead. Texas has 52,000, almost 53,000 dead, much more than 912. Australia has 31,000 infections. Texas has 3 million infections, huge difference. So what's going on here? Well, the difference is Australia, all right, is surrounded by the ocean and they eat a lot of algae. The indigenous peoples make up about 40% of the population. They live on algae out of the ocean. So they're getting those trace minerals to make their bone marrow happy so they can make antibodies to protect them from the viruses. And they tend to eat a lot of rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash. Where in Texas, 39% of the population are Latinos, 18% are Black, and then another 7% are indigenous people. So about 50% of the Texas population are non-whites. And non-whites have the highest rates of the COVID virus variations. And that's not because of a racial thing, it's because of a dietary thing. Because when you're eating gluten, your intestines are dead and you're not supplementing, you can't get nutrition to your bone marrow to protect you. That's what's going on here. And so let's have another look. Let's look at Vietnam with 97 million people versus the Philippines with 100 million people, very close, 97 million people versus 100 million people. Well, Vietnam has 132 dead. The Philippines has 26,000 dead. Vietnam has 35,000 infections, and Philippines have 1.5 million infections. Huge difference. So why is the difference? Well, the Vietnamese stayed Asian, and they live on rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash and seaweed because they're surrounded by the ocean. The Philippines, they have from the beginning, 500, 600 years ago, the Spanish, the Germans, the English, the Americans. They've had several wars in there in the last 100 years, and they have all these naval bases and all this stuff there. And I guarantee you that the people who are in the Philippines are working at all these naval bases and army bases and air bases, where I went many times when I was in the Air Force. They're eating like the military, US and Spanish and German and French military. Oh yeah, as they're eating all this gluten, and that's why they're having such a rough time. In Vietnam, they have stayed Asian, and that's why they're having an easier time at this. And of course, if they were to consciously supplement with the 90 essential nutrients, better yet, the 215, the big hammer, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, which is what I've been doing. I've been using the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack for 74 years. I've been gluten-free for 74 years. And I don't have any of these pre-existing conditions. I don't have any diabetes. I don't have any kidney problems. I don't have any thyroid issues. I don't have any arthritis. I don't have any sciatica. I don't have any diverticulitis. I don't have any skin issues. I don't have any of that stuff. Okay, and I also use our colloidal silver, 2 droppers full under my tongue, 30 minutes for each meal and 30 minutes for bedtime. Been doing that for 25 years. I use the hand sanitizer probably about 50 times a day because I see so many people and shake hands and high five and all that kind of stuff. But I wear my mask. And I do distance. But because I'm moving around and seeing so many people, it's imperative that I really, really, really take care of myself, and I do. And so there are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no genetically transmitted birth defects. And that's why my thesis, my 5,000-page thesis, is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. It represents 20,000 autopsies. And of course, I have 75 scientific articles based on that research in medical journals, biochemical journals, veterinary journals, agricultural journals. And I also have, let's see here, about 100 CDs, now 15 books, including this new one, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods book. And then those 75 scientific articles. And so there's a lot of information out there for you to get a hold of. And this is going to add many healthy years to your life. My goal is to add 25 to 50 healthy years to everybody's life. It's that simple. Now, I want to jump here to longevity. My goal, again, is to give everybody an extra 25 to 50 years. And you have to appreciate that, and I've said this before, and some of you will remember, that the human life expectancy is 155. Right now, because of the COVID, our average lifespan in the last 2 years has dropped from 79 years to 75. So right now we're leaving 80 years on the table. You subtract 75 years from 155 years life expectancy, we were leaving 80 years on the table. That's 80 years you could be spending with your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, the person you love, all this kind of stuff, doing all the things you like to do. You're giving up 80 years. And then let's look at medical doctors in the emergency rooms, very highly skilled surgeons and that sort of stuff. And their average lifespan is 57. That came out a couple of months ago by CDC, 57. Subtract that from 155. They're leaving 98 years on the table. They're leaving 98 years on the table. Doctors know nothing about longevity. I'll repeat that. Doctors know nothing about longevity. But if you get run over by a truck and you're bleeding internally, you got to go to the emergency room. When it comes to asking somebody about longevity, you want to get a hold of the quartet of books. Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport for Aromatherapy, and it's all in your head and cover about 600 different diseases. You don't need a doctor to tell you have diabetes. You can, for a test strip you can buy at the pharmacy for $1.50, you can diagnose your own diabetes. Whether you're doing it through your urine or you're doing it from a blood stick, do it yourself. You can do your own blood pressure. You don't need to go to a doctor to see if you're obese. You get on the scale, and if you're 25 pounds or more overweight for your height, you're obese. And arthritis, you get pain in your joints, they click and pop. They go numb when you sit in a certain way or lay down. Well, guess what? You got arthritis. And this is why you need to get a hold of that set of books, the quartet of books, Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport for Aromatherapy, it's all in your head. Once a year, I also get a hair analysis. You get the book, Rare Earthsman Cures. It tells you how to collect your hair, how to box it up, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check in there because they won't run the test without the check. And then also, they'll send you two charts. One is for the essential nutrients. And my interest is all those bars, if every one of those bars is down below the bottom line, you're not absorbing. That's very important information. Otherwise, you're going to see differences that are scattered all over the place based on what you're eating. If you're supplementing, you're going to be more consistent in having all your 90 essential nutrients above the median level. Well, when it comes to toxic minerals, like lead and mercury and uranium and stuff like that, there's a separate chart for that. You don't have to go pay $200 lab fee, twice over that a year. Why not just get the hair analysis, and you can deduct it off of your taxes if you're doing the longevity business as a business. Let's look at Russia. Okay, their average lifespan is 72. Subtract that from 155. They're leaving 83 years on the table. When you look at the Black community in America, their average lifespan is 72. Subtract that from 155. They're leaving 83 years on the table. You look at the Latinos, their average lifespan is 81.8, and there's subtract that from 155. They're leaving 73.2 years on the table. And the last one, the last bad one I want to talk about is the Philippines. Their average lifespan is 69.6. They're leaving 85.4 years on the table. The good guys are the Hunzas and the blue zones. The Hunzas live to be 120. If you just take that and subtract that from 155, they're leaving 35 years on the table. When you look at their longest lived people who live into their 160s and 170s, the super centenarians, they're exceeding that life expectancy of 155. That's where we want to be. Now, over 100 years, we've had 70,000 people in America over 100. We only have 32 that are super centenarians over 110. So it seems like, the middle 90s to the early 101, 102, 103 is about the best people are getting right now. Well, everybody should be able to live that long. And so I want you to engage the Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts. They're the guys and gals who saved America after the Second World War, because all the young people had to stay in Europe and Asia and the Pacific to maintain what we had won in the war and put things back together, because everything was bombed and burned and so forth. We had to help people with their health because their crops were all dead. So we had to leave our people over there. But the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts stepped up to the plate and saved America. Well, we need them again now. So the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts are usually sponsored by churches and service groups like the volunteer fire department and stuff like that. My Scout troop, 495, was sponsored by the University City High School, suburb of St. Louis. My Scoutmaster, Sidney Jacobs, he was a veteran from the Second World War. And our little troop, we could out-drill any military drill team because of this guy and his 3 assistant Scoutmasters. And we did such good in the St. Louis County community, helping little old people that really needed help. And of course, our ranking went up. I had 32 merit badges because I was able to, by helping other people and doing other things, I was able to get all these merit badges. And then when I graduated high school, I had 32 merit badges. I was a Order of the Arrow, a award for leadership. I also was an Explorer Scout, and I had the equivalent of a college education, a college degree by the time I graduated high school at age 18, because all my experiences and training in scouting. And I want that for everybody in scouting, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. Let's employ them. They will say, well, what's in it for them? Well, not only are they going to get the ability to increase their knowledge through their experiences, but also they're going to rank up. They'll be able to increase their rank with their merit badges and their service pins. But also, I will pay them. You get them involved with longevity. I will pay them based on how many people they get involved and the number of supplements that are needed to help these people. But also, they'll get a car bonus. Now, we're talking about Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. They can be Cub Scouts and Brownies, age 6 years old in kindergarten. So why not start accounts for them and let's start getting money into their accounts when they're 6 years old, so they can have college money when they graduate high school. They'll have a car by the time they're 14, 15. And it's all because they're going to be associated with longevity, and we're going to support them and help them rebuild America after this COVID thing. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Ruth Ellen and Nasima. And so do you ladies have any questions, or can I help you?
That is great, Doc. Thank you for your continued service and all the great information you provide. I do want to let everybody know that if you were invited by anybody to this meeting, you need to circle back with them to place your orders or move up to be a distributor from a preferred customer status. And if you were not invited by anybody, or you received an email from Ask Doc Live or Critical Health News, please reply back to that email or contact us through our website, askdoclive.com. That's DOC. live.com, or call us on our phone team, and our number is 855-949-7234. We're all longevity distributors and are here ready and available to help you out for your journey of your health and wealth. Dr. Wallach does love to hear feedback from you. So if you've started on the products fairly recently, and if he's asked you to give him feedback every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or after you do your lab work, etc., please raise your virtual hand up here, and we'll love to call upon you to ask your questions. And you can ask any questions. Dr. Wallach does like to see you on video and hear you. That way he can ask you more information as needed as well. So with that, Ruth Ellen, are we ready to address some questions on raised hands? Should I go for that, or do you want to say something before that?
We can definitely ask questions now. And I want to encourage everyone that has a question. I have a couple that came up in the chat. To please raise your virtual hand. That way we don't have to search for you. And when we do bring you up, to definitely turn on your camera. So
yeah,
we can start with John.
Okay, that sounds great. And John, I don't see his video up, but I'm going to okay, there you are. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. And when addressing your question, asking your question, please provide your age, your height, your weight, and your symptoms, and how long, if you have been on any products, how long you've been on there. Keep in mind, Dr. Wallach will give the protocol that will benefit all the listeners. So he'll provide the complete protocol, even if you're already on that particular product. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, good morning. Hi, Doc.
Good morning, John.
I'm giving a status update. I've been on the products for about 3 months, and a little over 3 months. I'm 63 years old. I weigh 205. I started at about 216 when I got on the program, and so I've been maintaining that 10-pound loss consistently for the last week or so, or two. So I've got AFib, I've got hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and I've got ED. And so again, for me, my big concern is I'm a little bit impatient. I'm wanting more results, but I'm not feeling much change in terms of energy and stuff. But
okay, well, let's stop there for a moment.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see here. How tall are you?
5'5", lost
5.
about 2.5 inches since teens.
Okay, lost 2 inches. That's very important information. You have osteoporosis of the skull.
Yep.
Okay, that's why you have AFib.
Yep.
AFib is not a heart issue, although the symptom is a heart issue, but it's not a heart issue. You have AFib because your 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, is being squeezed by the skull because you have osteoporosis of the skull. When you have cardiomyopathy, you said you also had cardiomyopathy, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now cardiomyopathy is a nutritional deficiency of the heart. That's a separate issue. And then when you shrink 2 inches, this means that your vertebrae are getting closer together and smashing the roots of the spinal nerves in the neck and the upper back and lower back. Do you have any low back problems? Any things going on in your low back, your hips, your knees and feet and stuff like that?
I get the odd lower back pain, but that sometimes is when I'm lifting heavy objects, sometimes in the garden and stuff. But as a general rule, no.
Okay. Do you have any skin issues, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
Not really, no.
Okay. Do you have any bowel problems? Constipation, diarrhea, irritable bowel syndrome,
No,
celiac disease, any of that kind of stuff?
no.
Okay. Do you have any stomach pain? Any like belching, burping, bloating, any terrible stomach pain like you might have an ulcer?
I definitely I get occasional bloating.
Okay.
I've been
Now the
off
reason,
wheat. Sorry, I've been off wheat now since I guess February. Gluten.
okay. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that's not good enough. If you're just giving up wheat, you need to give up wheat, barley, rye, and
Yeah,
oats. That includes the beer. That includes
that-
yeah, that whole spectrum. That includes the drinks. That includes there are no such things as gluten-free oats. They'll try and sell them to you because the name for gluten in oats is called gliadin, but it's still gluten. So there are no such things. Anytime somebody tries to sell you gluten-free oats, call the police, okay? Because there are no such things as gluten-free oats. If you get on our programs and you have a 6-month supply in your cupboard because you're trying to stay ahead of the thing in case you can't get stuff later, don't say, well, I'll start the gluten-free stuff in 6 months when I'm done eating all this. No. What you want to do is box all that up. You get a tax deduction in your longevity business by donating that to your doctor, to Doctor with Love, just like 007 gave to Russia with love. You want to give all the gluten to the doctor because the doctor's saying, eat more whole grain, stay away from animal fat. Well, any doctor who says that should be put in jail because that's going the wrong direction. Certainly for immune system, especially in this pandemic time, but also it's going to subtract many healthy years from your life to continue to eat gluten. And there's no good gluten. Let's go there. So AFib, again, do you ever have any hiccups or coughing, like COPD, dry, unproductive cough?
I get hiccups.
Hiccups, okay.
Very, very rarely. Not like the president of Brazil, who I heard. I just want to say this. He had 10 days of hiccups. Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that. Was it just recently? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, just recently. This past week, the president of Brazil had 10 days of straight hiccups.
Well, guess what? He's got a squeezing of the 10th cranial nerve in the recurrent branch because he's got osteoporosis of the skull. Brazil president hiccups 10 days. Oh my gosh.
That was on the news here in Canada this week, so I'm sure.
Okay, well, thank you. I'll look it up. No problem.
Yep.
I'll get it. Thank you. But anyway,
Thank you.
thank you so much, John. And so this is something you're going to have to, and this is again for our listeners, at 205 pounds, I want you to get on 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. And then I want you to get on 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 of those with each meal. That'll support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone breaks, bone cell. You might even regain that 2 inches you lost in height. Also, you need to get 2 bottles a month of our vitamin D3, so you can take 3 of those twice a day so you can absorb these minerals and put them in your bones. You need our glucogel, 5 of those twice a day, and the capsules is 2 bottles a month. If you prefer the liquid glucogel, you can take 2 quarts a month and take an ounce twice a day. You also need our Fucoid Z, which is all these weird trace minerals from the ocean, from the algae in the ocean, that's going to make your bone marrow happy, so you can make more antibodies and more white blood cells to go kill and eat the virus, stuff like that. And if you have pain once in a while in your knees or your joints, your hands, or your neck, that sort of stuff, we do have, of course, our CM cream and our trauma oil. You can put 4 or 5 drops of our trauma oil in each teaspoon of CM cream, mix it up real good, and apply that to your back, your knees, your neck, your elbows, wherever you have pain. You get about 2 hours of relief. We also have the Soothe from our Hemp FX division. It's a CBD oil product in a little pump bottle. And every teaspoon of that, you can put, again, 4 or 5 drops of the trauma oil and put that on your sore spot, say a half hour before bedtime. You're going to get 3 hours of relief from that and 2 hours of relief from the CM cream and the trauma oil. And that's going to kind of cover the symptomatic relief. And one other thing, because you have all this heart stuff going on, don't forget, you got to have 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart Packs a month, because cardiomyopathy heart disease is due to a deficiency of a single nutrient. And you need to take everything in those 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs.
And I'm
So you
taking
can-
I'm taking an extra selenium.
Okay, you're taking an extra bottle of selenium, so you can take 3 times a day. Okay, that's good. You can take 3 times a day, even at your body weight. That's beautiful. And of course, it's not just the selenium. People don't run to Walgreens and buy selenium. That's not. It's the 5 cofactors in there. It's the cofactors. And I used to tell everybody, they say, well, what nutrient is it? What nutrient is it? I would tell them what it was. And they go to the Walgreens, they buy that nutrient. And 3 months later, they were dead because they left out the other 89. Okay, they're trying to be clever and just buy that one. Okay, well, it cost them their life. Well, again, our goal is to give you 25 to 50 healthful years. You have to do 2 things: stay away from the bad stuff and do all the good stuff. How long do I have to stay on the good stuff? Well, how long do you need oxygen, John?
Forever.
How long do you need water, John?
Forever.
How long do you need the 90 essential nutrients?
Forever.
Well, I believe you got it. And thank you for sharing your story. But do call us every couple of weeks, because your story is going to be very valuable. And your testimony is toll-free, doesn't cost you anything to give us a call on our toll-free number. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
I have a question.
Wonderful. Thank you, John. Thank
have a-
you. Oops. Go ahead, John.
Doctor,
Do you have
could
something else to say?
Yeah, doctor, could you talk about glyphosate at some point and how to avoid foods that have it today? Because I'm hearing a lot of stories that it's not good for us. And
That's why we wrote this book.
Okay,
There's 300 pages of safe foods.
okay. So that's
Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. It
Okay.
tells you how to avoid all those bad things, including glyphosates and fried foods and oils and glutens and that kind of stuff. Okay, that's why we did that, because we got tired of people asking us about it. So we just said it's time for a book. But thank you for the question, John. All right.
Well, thank you, John. And Dr. Wallach, I just want to remind everybody that these meetings are recorded and they can always listen. You can always enjoy the replay. So when you're getting this valuable information from Dr. Wallach, you can focus on listening and asking your question and answering the questions. And you can always go back to the recording, listen to these sections you want to, and then make notes and write information down as well. And with that, we will go to our next person who has their virtual hand raised. But before we do, if you have questions, please raise your virtual hand. That would be great. And we will go to Sue. Sue, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. It just shows up as Sue SK or Conzel. Please go ahead.
Hi, Doc. This is my
Hey.
mom, Vera, and she's a big fan, and she's got some questions for you.
Okay.
Hi, Doc. I'm 87. I'm interested in the macular degeneration.
135 pounds.
Last time I weighed myself at the doctor's office, it was 135. I'm losing because my pants are getting loose.
I'm missing that. How much do you weigh?
135.
Okay, 135.
5
Okay.
5'2", 87 years old.
Okay.
She's got macular degeneration, but she also has had a partial thyroidectomy, so she can't really tolerate shellfish.
For some reason, among other things.
Okay. So number one, do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs and feet and ankles?
Yes, you have spider veins.
No.
Yes,
Do I? Oh, my
Yes.
daughter says I have it.
yes.
She
Yeah.
said,
No. Okay. The reason I'm asking that, the white hair is not due to age; it's due to a nutritional deficiency. And that nutritional deficiency causes many other diseases, including varicose veins and spider veins, that kind of stuff. It also causes ruptured aneurysms in the brain and AR and stuff like that. Also causes wrinkles in the skin, breakdown of the artery walls and vein walls. So we need to work on that. And your concerns are, let's see here, the thyroid issue, correct?
no, that was
And macular degeneration.
macular degeneration, right?
Okay. Now, do you have any ring in your ears? Do you have any tone or noise in your ears?
Oh, I've got hearing you wouldn't believe. I could hear half a mile away.
Okay, well, that's not the question. The question is, do you have any noise in your ears?
No, none at all.
Okay, oh, okay, good. Do you have any balance problems or dizziness?
When I get up, I had
Okay,
a,
when you get up, a little balance problems, okay? And what about, do you have anything going on in your hands or wrists or arms, any pain or numbness or tingling?
uh, well, I have fallen and both wrists have been broken, this one twice. And I had a hip implant, not an implant, pins put in my left hip, right hip.
Okay, all
So,
right. It doesn't matter if it's right or left.
because
Okay.
no, the other hip is, the total hip macular
Implant.
Mhm.
some kind of
Where are you from? Where do you live?
Erie, Pennsylvania.
Okay, Pennsylvania, okay. All right, I was trying to figure out what the accent was. Okay. Now, do you have any heart issues? Do you have any hiccups or irregular heartbeat or fast heart rate or anything like that?
I had a heart attack in 2000 and 4 stents put in, but
Okay.
it was fine since then.
Okay, some heart vascular issues. All right, and let's see.
I do get hiccups.
You do get hiccups, okay? Yeah, you have osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the vestibular. Let's see here. You're squeezing the. Excuse me. You're squeezing the branch, the nerve, of course, the nerve that actually controls the diaphragm, the recurrent nerve. That's what I'm looking for. The recurrent nerve. And that causes the hiccups. It's all caused by osteoporosis of the skull. Same thing with the balance problem, could be called vertigo. Okay. And so here we go. And Sue, I'm sure that Sue kind of knows a little bit about this, or maybe a lot, I don't know, but let's get going here. You need to get rid of all the bad foods. Your hair color will begin to come back if you're absorbing these nutrients. Get rid of all the bad foods. No
Okay.
fried foods. Now just listen.
I'm
No
listening.
fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, no oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go. Then I want you to take 137 pounds or 135 pounds, whatever it is. Can't read my own writing here. I want you to take 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, but I also want you to get another bottle of our selenium, not Walgreens selenium, but our selenium for the 5 cofactors in there. And you'll notice after a couple of weeks or a month that your hair color will begin to come back. Those spider veins and varicose veins will begin to go away because they are nutritional deficiencies. They are not something of age. And when you see that happening, that's telling you you're absorbing properly and you're getting benefit elsewhere. Then I also want you to have 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 with each meal. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes your bone itself, including the skull. Okay, and take the pressure off those nerves. Because when you have macular degeneration, oftentimes it really should be called ONA, optic nerve atrophy, because your skull is squeezing that optic nerve, the optic artery, and the optic vein, causing all these slow vision loss. Have to get new glasses every 6 months or a year or something like that because your vision is getting worse and worse and worse. Okay, this is called ONA, optic nerve atrophy. And it's another manifestation of osteoporosis of the skull. And again, I want everybody out there to get this book, Osteoporosis of the Skull. It's called, It's All in Your Head. And doctors never talk about this because their tennis buddies and their golf buddies are ear, eye, and nose and throat doctors, their dentists, and their hearing doctors. And they want to send them patients. And so instead of telling you, hey, this is osteoporosis of the skull, we're going to treat you for osteoporosis of the skull, they send you to their buddies who are specialists in those diseases, and they treat the symptoms. They don't get down to the basic root cause of the disease. And so I expect, even at your age, 87, I deal with people who are in their 90s and early hundreds. And so you should see a benefit here. For the thyroid, I would also throw in the thyroid. You need to throw in the, let's see here, I throw in the Fucoid Z, 3 of those twice a day, that's 2 bottles a month, or Ocean's Gold, 3 of those twice a day, that's 2 bottles a month. And then I also want you to throw in our Vision FX, take 3 of those twice a day. And then if you had a heart attack, is that correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And so that was because your arteries were plugged in your heart. Okay, you had a bypass surgery in your heart. Okay, and so I want you to also get our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, get 2 bottles of that in a month, and take 3 of those twice a day. And that's going to support healthy blood pressure, but also healthy blood flow through blocked arteries in your brain, in your heart, in your kidneys, in your legs, and every place else. And in 2 to 6 months, you're going to be a new woman. Okay. You can expect to see a great things. Really beautiful improvement. Age is not the factor here. These are nutritional deficiencies, and you got to stay away from the gluten. No gluten. You can't even go to Spaghetti Factory and eat a salad because you're going to get cross-contaminated there. Okay, well, give us a call every couple of weeks and bring us up to date, and we'll walk you through this.
I do have a question. We did get a bottle of the Occutiv. Should we take that or not?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Take
Okay.
yeah,
We got our stuff
Go.
yesterday.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Right.
Oxygenatives is nutrition for the eye.
thank you.
Okay, and so since the circulation has been bad to the eye and from the eye, Occutiv will speed up the healing of the eye. But doctors don't know anything about the skull squeezing the optic nerve and the optic artery and the optic vein, so they just blame it on macular degeneration because that's all they know. They might say glaucoma if you have a little bit of extra pressure in your eye, and they'll be happy to give you a drug for that. But again, it's the skull squeezing those arteries and veins and the optic nerve causing those problems. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Doc, we will go to the next person. Maria Pena, please unmute yourself so you can ask your question. And Maria Pena is a longevity distributor as well. And we have many distributors and customers on this call. So please, again, if you are invited by anyone, circle back to them. If you are brand new and you received an email from Ask Doc Live or however, reply to that or connect with us on Ask Doc Live. We want to grow Dr. Wallach's army here and pass on the good message of health and wealth to everybody. Go ahead, Maria, please.
Thank you, Doctor. I get all the HBSP Healthy Body Star Pack and Selenium, but I am in strong flu, and pain in my upper back, and I was in COVID October last year, and I am vaccinated this 3rd July, the second vaccinated, and I want to know how can I get to longevity for stay very good health.
Okay. I missed the first thing. I got the back pain. What did you say before back pain? What was the first thing you mentioned?
In my upper back inside. When I was in COVID, this pain, I had this pain.
Okay. Now, do you have any high blood pressure or diabetes?
No.
Okay. Do you have any skin problems, any eczema or dermatitis or psoriasis? Okay.
No.
Do you have any bowel problems, any constipation or diarrhea?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Just
So
cough.
you're okay. How much do you weigh? What's your body weight?
Yes. 170 pounds.
Okay. And how old are you?
64.
Okay. All right. So need to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, no oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go. And 170 pounds, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. The full dose, everything twice a day.
Okay.
And I want you to realize it's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, makes your bone itself. And then also, I want you to get our vitamin D3, take 3 of those twice. That's 2 bottles a month. It's going to help you absorb minerals and put them in the right place in the bones. you need 2 bottles a month of our glucogel. So you can take 5 twice a day of the capsules. If you prefer the liquid, you get 2 quarts a month and take an ounce of the liquid glucogel twice a day. And then also because of the back issues and everything, and because of the other stuff going on, your back and your upper back, lower back, I want you to get our CM cream and our trauma oil. Put, say, 5 drops of trauma oil in each teaspoon of the CM cream. You have to mix it up because overnight the cream will drop to the bottom, water comes to the top. So you got to mix it up real good. And then put 5 drops of the trauma oil from aromatherapy oil division into a teaspoon of the CM cream and apply that to your back or neck or wherever you have the pain, arm, shoulder. And then at bedtime, you want to use our Hemp FX CBD oil called Soothe, SOOTHE. Take a teaspoon of that and put 5 drops of the trauma oil in that and put that on your pain place. You get 3 hours of pain relief from the Soothe and the trauma oil. You get 2 hours of pain relief from the CM cream and the trauma oil. And it takes anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to begin to see a benefit, depending on how good you are about avoiding the bad stuff. Everybody in your house, the dog, the cat, the bird, the fish, spouse, kids, brothers and sisters, everybody's got to be gluten-free. So you can't be cooking gluten for somebody else. Say, well, I don't eat gluten. But if you're cooking for somebody else, you're getting contaminated with it, right? You can't be cooking for somebody else with gluten. And so they get it. That's very, very sensitive. Call us every 2 weeks. Your story is a common story. And so your testimony will help lots of people. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much.
Vaya con Dios.
Thank
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Doc. So, we've got a few minutes here before we go on break, so we'll take another question. But again, everybody, please do listen to the replays to write down notes. We've got resources posted in the comment and chat part here. Those will not be available in the replay. So do take screenshots with your phone or make notes of the phone numbers and websites. We do take a short break on the top of the hour. It will only be about 5 minutes long. So with that, again, if you've got questions, please go ahead and raise your virtual hands. When we do go on break, stay logged in, because if you log out and come back in, you will not be able to see the previous notes. So with that, we will go to Captain Sam. Captain Sam, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, please.
Hello, Captain Sam.
Muted. I'm unmuted. Start my video. Okay. My system's a little slow. Okay. All right. Hey, thanks again, Doc. Great to see you. So this question is for one of my guests who's not here yet, but it's her and her friend. They're both in their 70s, and they started taking the basic 90. And the question they have for me is they really want to take the big hammer in the toolbox, the Healthy Brain Body Pack, but it's out of their budgets because they're on limited income. So I know the answer, I think, is suggest they become a distributor.
That's correct.
Okay. And so they were saying, is there any type of insurance? You ever envision that down the road where people that are can really pay for stuff that'll really truly help them?
We would love to have insurance pay for our programs, but
right.
the medical system has tied all that up. And
right.
so it wouldn't hurt to, Captain Sam, call or write your insurance company and say, hey, there's so many things that can benefit our health and eliminate symptoms and add many healthier years of our life by taking supplements. Why don't you guys pay for our supplements? And you'll actually save a lot of money. Instead of having to pay $100,000 for some surgical thing, you'll just be paying $10 a month for our supplements, or $20 a month for the supplements, or whatever part you're going to pay. It'll be a lot cheaper for you than spending $100,000 for a bone marrow transplant kind of stuff. And
right.
So if you get thousands of people doing that, then these insurance companies are going to say, well, maybe we should do that. But as long as the only people talking to them are doctors who are sending them all these patients, and right. the patients are paying for insurance, then that's the relationship there. And right. so it's us screaming and jumping up and down doesn't help. It's got to be the patient screaming and jumping up and down.
Okay.
Okay.
a direction to go in. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Yes, you too.
All right.
Hello there, Dr. Wallach and Captain Sam. I just wanted to hop in real quick and say that there is a health savings program that people can get. They can get a health savings account, and then they can put money aside to help them pay for procedures and different things that insurance does not cover. So their insurance companies may have that program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, I want to throw one more thing in here just for 1 minute before we go to the break. And that is, we're talking about adding 25 to 50 health years to everybody's life. You got to start early. You can't wait until you're 85 years old and have 25 different diseases. Okay. What you want to do is start before birth. The mothers and dad got to be taking the 90 essential nutrients before they get pregnant. And then after the baby's born, the babies need kids toddy, cal toddy, kids sprinkles, EFAs, that kind of stuff. And they get a little bit older, they can have rebound or sports drink and that kind of stuff. But they need these 90 essential nutrients as early as possible. If the mother's breastfeeding, she needs to be taking the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, so it comes through the breast milk. If she's giving them Infamil and Similac, then she can add the kids toddy, cal toddy, and kids sprinkles to them. And then when they get old enough to where they're maybe going to kindergarten or something, they can have maybe an ounce for breakfast of our rebound sports drink with 100 nutrients in it, kind of stuff. And they need to be getting these nutrients and staying away from the bad foods from the very beginning. No oatmeal, no wheat, bran, rye, and oats. Get them on rice and sweet potatoes. I had rice and sweet potatoes and eggs and my smoked wild salmon from Alaska this morning, along with my yogurt and all my supplements. And I've been doing this for 74 years. I don't have any pre-existing conditions. I don't have any of these diabetes and high blood pressure and arthritis and low back problems and sciatica and diverticulitis. I don't have any of that stuff. I'm 82 years old. Most people think I'm in my 50s when they look at me and look at my energy and how much physical work I can do. You can't be 82 years old. Here's my birthday. It freaks them out. Okay. And so you have to really be proactive. Don't just kind of dawdle along. Get your kids, your grandkids, your brothers and sisters, your mom and dad, your spouse, yourself, get on the 90 essential nutrients. And kids, of course, kids toddy, cal toddy, kids sprinkles, EFAs, and rebound. And don't forget the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts. They are the ones who are going to help us save America. We love them. We appreciate them. And we'll help them get all the rewards and advancements as well as get their money. Over to you, Ruth Ellen.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Doc. So we'll go on our short break. Please stay logged in. It'll only be about 5 minutes. Get up, stretch around, and be right back. I want to thank everybody for attending today. We have 1 more hour left for this Ask Doc Live call. So never too late to text your friend, family, anyone you want to invite to this call, or invite them to listen to the call again. And I see Dr. Wallach is back. And as he said, it's never too early to get started on the healthy longevity nutritional supplements. Our products are formulated in a very specific way with quality tests. And he says, give it a shot. You need it daily for life and stick with it. Don't just take it for a couple of days and say, it's not working. So with that, Dr. Wallach, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. And
thank you, Nasima.
We will go to the next person who has their hand raised up. It's David Rose. David Rose, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, please. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, I'm looking up David's nose. The camera is too low or something.
Yeah, David, we cannot hear you. So with that, why don't we go to the next person who has their virtual hand raised up? It's Susan Bostwick. Susan Bostwick, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, please.
Yes. Hello, Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Susan.
Thank you so much for everything you're doing. It's just
thank you.
A miracle is happening in my space, I have to say. I I really do I'm 76 years old. I'm 5'3" and 147. I have not lost any weight, but I'm still, that's my next goal. But I wanted to ask questions about pain. I have gotten rid of, through your product, thank you so much, almost all of my body pain except my lower back. It's just not going away. And
Okay.
I also have an eye problem. My eye continually drips, not all the time, every day, all the day long, but most of the days. So those are the two major issues that I personally have. And that
Okay. I'm hearing somebody typing in a computer.
Yes, there you go,
Were you
Susan.
able to hear me okay? Because I did
You hit a close button or something.
did you hear me? Because my mic
No.
went off. Okay, I'm 76 years
No,
old.
no, I got all that.
The,
I got
the,
all
the
that.
last, the last thing that we heard was you saying that your eye was weeping and you had just started to describe it. So if you can continue from there, that would be awesome.
I mentioned also the lower back.
Yes.
I've gotten rid of knee pain. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. And other joint pain is going away in almost all of my hands. And well, one finger still hurts, but I'm just so delighted. But what do I do about this lower back pain? It just doesn't go away. And
Okay. Well, let me ask you a couple of questions here. Do you have any ringing or buzzing or whooshing in your ears?
I have to say yes.
Okay. Do you have any balance problems?
Yes.
Okay. And you say you have stuff going on in your hands and wrists?
It's gone, pretty much gone. 90% gone.
Okay. Do you have anything going on with your vision of the eye other than just a drippy eye?
No, actually, my vision is improving. I keep taking my glasses off. These are reading glasses,
Mhm.
and it's improving. I've been taking your
Okay.
occupative.
Okay,
I've been taking
good.
occupative selenium, glucoid Z. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we go. Yeah, you have osteoporosis of the skull and you have some low back issues. How much have you shrunk any in height since you were 50 years old?
Yes, I was 5'3.5". I think I'm 5'3".
Okay, maybe like a half-inch shrinking. Okay. Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs or any hemorrhoids?
They're going away.
Okay,
I do, but they're going away. I notice it diminishing. It's wonderful.
good. Now, have you noticed any of your original hair color coming back also?
It's hard to tell. My hair underneath is dark and it wasn't before. So I don't know what that means. It's not happening up here.
Yeah, okay, what's happening is you're regrowing your original hair color when you were a kid. Okay, same way with your vein stuff is going away because
Yeah.
the loss of hair color and varicose veins are due to a nutritional deficiency. When you take these things, I've had people who had white hair for 40 years and in 2 months time, they look about 25 years younger because their hair color. Are you dyeing your hair? What are you doing? No, I'm just, I'm taking my stuff. Okay, so here we go. You need to get rid of all the bad stuff. And this, most of this, but I have to do this for a listening audience. You have to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rye and oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. 147 pounds. You're right at that cusp. And so I would take 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month for another couple of months. And then let's see how it goes. But 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. I would get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 of those with each meal, three times a day. And they're designed to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone breaks your bone itself, and skin and arteries and veins and stuff like that. And you'll be amazed at how, the ringing in the ears can go away, the tinnitus goes away, the balance issues go away, because this is all osteoporosis of the skull. You need to get a hold of that book. It's all in your head. It'll blow your mind how much we know about these things. I bet your doctor didn't tell you he had osteoporosis of the skull, did he?
No,
Or she?
no.
Mhm.
Absolutely not.
Okay. And so then also, let's see here, again, the eye, the skull will squeeze the optic nerve, the optic artery, and the optic vein, and it causes all kinds of nerve things going on in the eye, the tear glands and so forth. And so that's why you're having that drippy eye. And as soon as that pressure begins to resolve itself, because the skull will go back to a normal thickness, which is 1/4 of an inch thick. Right now, it may be an inch thick, and it's filling in all those tunnels where the nerves are going through and the blood vessels are going through. But as soon as it begins to normalize, takes the pressure off of everything, and so these symptoms go away. All right, the hand and wrist stuff, the low back stuff, the drippy eye, ringing in the ears, that all goes away. The pain will eventually go away. It could be 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, but it'll go away. So give us a call every couple of weeks. Give us a status report. It's toll-free, won't cost you anything. But your story at your age is very common. And of course, people just get prednisone and cortisone, which makes it actually worse because it accelerates the loss of minerals from the bones, which is what you don't want. But it gives you symptom relief for a couple of months. And so, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. My doctor gave me a cortisone shot, and I'm taking some cortisone orally. And so, but then 6 months later, you'll be 10 times worse than you were before you started taking the cortisone. Okay. Okay. We look forward to hearing from you, Susan.
Well, thank you so much. And one of my customers, I'm a distributor, I think she's on the line, and she kept saying that he kept texting me. She wants to talk to you. I don't see your hand up. Carolyn, are you there? Because if you are, you should talk to the doctor, because he's going to give you some great advice. She's in her 60s, and but I don't see her hand raised.
Well, she can call us. She can call us later, the second hour.
Yeah, she can call in later. Thank you so much, doctor.
Okay.
God bless
Thank you. God bless you, Susan. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Doc. And again, never too early to start, and stick with it. And again, as Dr. Wallach said, it's very important to be gluten-free, be aware of cross-contamination. And, you know, a perfect example is someone came to me just a couple of days ago and said, you know, there's this awesome Udi bread made with all these good grains. Is that good? I'm like, read all the labels. No wheat, no barley, no rye, R-Y-E, and no oats of any kind, even if it states gluten-free on them. And that's because, Doc Wallach, as you say, it has something called gliadin that acts and behaves just like gluten. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, wonderful. Our host, Ruth Ellen, has a question, so I'm going to call upon her next. Ruth Ellen, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Mute myself. There we go. Thank you, Nasima. Dr. Wallach.
Yes, ma'am.
Right before the break, you were talking about women who want to become pregnant, and in preparation for becoming pregnant, that they needed to take the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and all the nutrients and everything. But what about the father? Because I know that the health of their sperm is vitally important to a healthy baby.
50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know, I say both partners, both the male and the female, need to be off all the bad foods. Both the male and the female need to be on all the 90 essential nutrients to maximize the possibility of a perfect baby. This is something that's well known, but doctors make a living by having patients. And so they don't really go to a great effort to share this information, because kids make a big part of their patient load. Kids, well, they're kids, they get this and they get that. Well, that's only because they're not taking the 90 essential nutrients and they're eating too much of the bad foods. And so people, I know families where they have several kids, boys and girls, and both the boys and the girls are transgenders. Mm-hmm. Now, I guarantee you it's because the mom and dad are missing stuff, because part of the brain, the hypothalamus, tells you who to chase for sex and who you're going to allow to chase you for sex. And if that doesn't get developed properly, because you're missing something in your diet, you're going to have problems. And so this is not a choice. And of course, the number of transgenders is going up at a very rapid rate. And the number of lesbians and LGBT gay males and so forth is going up. And in fact, it's kind of interesting. A beautiful young girl I think it was just a couple of weeks ago. She was Miss Nevada. Okay, and she had this big,
Mhm.
beautiful sash on, gorgeous girl. The silver state, because it has the silver mines in Nevada. And she's the first transgender beauty queen. She was really a boy, but
Wow.
she looked like this beautiful young woman. I mean, there's no way you could say that this was a guy with a wig on or something like that. This was a gorgeous young woman, okay, in her 20s. And so it's one of those things where we have to pay attention to what's going on here. And there are transgender elephants and giraffe and bulls and rams and llamas and wombats and kangaroos and ostriches and chickens and whales and porpoises, okay, and rhino and hippopotamus. Now, the reason why I'm
Oh,
saying all
goodness.
this, is this is not just a human thing.
Okay.
Just like arthritis is not just a human thing. Diabetes is not just a human thing. It's a vertebrate thing. All right. And of course, now the farmer has the advantage. If he has a bull that thinks he's a cow, or has a cow that thinks she's a bull, they just shoot him and eat him.
That's fascinating. I had no idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
thank-
This goes way back. This goes way, way back to the beginning of time. And if you had a cow that's chasing other cows and not letting the bull chase her, she was going to be jerky. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. All right, so let's go to David Rose, if you can unmute yourself. That would be great. I just sent you a request to unmute yourself.
Well, David's having a hard time with his equipment there.
Yeah,
Maybe,
just give
maybe
him a
he's-
second. And just give him a
maybe-
second.
can you see him, or
I
maybe he's
can
in the?
see him.
Oh,
I
okay,
can
so
see him.
he's not in the bathroom.
No, he is not in the bathroom. I'm
Okay.
going to remove my spotlight and spotlight him. David, we still can't hear you.
Let's move on.
There we go.
Can you
He's
hear me
unmuted.
now?
Oh, we can
Yes.
hear you now. Well, you
Yeah,
came close, brother.
You don't have to have it close to your face because it'll be too loud and it'll muffle it. So go ahead.
Okay, my name is David Rose. I am currently on kidney dialysis, and I had a donor, but they won't do the transplant because they found lymphoma in my neck, so I'm on also chemotherapy light. And from what I understand, Dr. Wallach, I've been trying to get a hold of you for months because I know you have a regimen to actually reverse
Yes.
kidney disease
That's correct.
and even cancer, and I want to get on that regimen as soon as possible.
Okay. How old are you, David?
I'm 66. I'm 5'8". I weigh approximately 140 pounds.
Okay. Now you need to move back from the microphone to the camera because all I can see is your left ear.
All right.
That's much better. That's much better. Thank you. Okay. So let's see here. Dialysis. Are you urinating?
Yes, but not as good as usual. It's
Okay, how
but I
many-
urinate often. I urinate 6 or 7 times a day, but it's just a slow little amount each time.
Yes or no would have done. Okay.
Okay.
I need to know how many times a week you're getting dialysis.
3 times a week, 4 hours a session.
Okay. Do you have any high blood pressure?
Pardon?
High blood pressure?
Yes, I'm being treated with 5 different medications for high blood pressure, and it's still borderline.
Okay. You need to ask your doctor if he has kids in college and if the tuition is due. Okay. Do you have any varicose
Yep.
veins in your legs?
I'm starting to get some.
Okay. I'm asking that because you have white hair, which is not an age thing. It's actually nutritional deficiency, as is varicose veins and high blood pressure and so on. Do you have any skin problems, any eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis?
I have a terrible problem with itching, but they say that comes with kidney disease. Yeah, it seems like I hear crickets.
Okay, all right. Any dizziness or balance problems?
Only if I bend over for a period of time.
Okay. All right, yeah, all right. You have many things going on here. It's all reversible. The body's going to do all the work, but we got to give it the raw materials, right? So you need to
Right.
get rid of all the bad stuff. Let's see here. Trying to look here. I don't see where I've written down how much you weigh. How much do you weigh?
About 140 pounds.
140 pounds. Okay. All right. So I need you to give up all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, no oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. This will be forever. This will be forever. You can never go back to that. You need to start living like an Asian. All right. You need to live like an Asian. Rice and sweet potatoes and beans and squash. And you can have fish and you can have red meat, but nothing fried, right? So
Okay.
at 140 pounds, because you're on dialysis, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. Take a full dose of everything twice a day. Then I want you to get 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 with each meal. And they're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone matrix, bone itself, skin, artery walls, vein walls, all that kind of stuff. And then I want you to take vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month. Glucogel, you can take
What
5
was that called?
Vitamin
last one?
D3. Vitamin D3
Vitamin-
is that D3, sunshine
Okay.
vitamin. Okay. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That's so you can absorb the minerals and put them all in the right place. And then you need some glucogel because that's what cartilage and ligaments and tendons are made from. You can take your body weight. I'd go ahead with 5 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. If you prefer the liquid, you can get 2 quarts a month and take 2 ounces a day of the liquid, either the liquid or the pills or capsules, actually. And then because you have high blood pressure, which goes along with the kidney issues, I want you to get 3 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 times a day, 3 with each meal, 3 with breakfast, 3 with lunch, 3 with dinner time. And they're going to support healthy blood pressure. Don't cold turkey off your medication, but as your blood pressure begins to drop, you can slowly reduce your medication based on the numbers. But also, in addition to lowering your blood pressure, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, they will actually support healthy blood flow through the blocked arteries in the kidneys. It's blocked arteries in the kidneys, which is causing your blood pressure to go up because your kidney will release a hormone called renin to raise your blood pressure. But also, that's what causes you to have kidney issues is the blocked arteries. So 3 times a day, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, that will support and promote maintenance repair of the arteries in your kidneys and your heart and your brain and every place else, but also support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and support healthy blood pressure. This stuff all goes away. This is kind of freaking people out. I take people that haven't urinated in 10 years. They haven't urinated in 10 years, are on dialysis 6 days a week. In 2 weeks' time, they're urinating. They reduce their dialysis to 3 days a week. And in 2 more weeks, they're totally off of dialysis. And they've been on dialysis for 25 years because they didn't want to get a kidney transplant. So you can expect great results here. But people say, well, how long do I have to stay on all these nutrients? Well, forever. Now, as you lose a little bit more weight, let's say you're 5'8". I'm 5'6" and I weigh 142. So we're pretty close together. And so, you can cut some of this by 25% after you get everything down to normal and you're off of dialysis and all that kind of stuff. You can cut, for instance, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. You can cut it to 3 twice a day instead of 3 times a day. Got it?
All right. So you got me the brain health packs, the Ultimate Daily Classic, Glucogel, and RFM.
Okay, no, a lot more than that. There's a lot more than that. So you need to look at the replay here, which is on permanently. So in a couple of hours, it'll be up and you can look at it this afternoon. You can look at it tomorrow. You can look at it every week if you want. Don't throw 3 things at me because I just spent 15 minutes giving you 18 things. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So you need a much more intense program here if you're going to be successful. Okay.
Right. And how do I access the recording?
I will explain that. So what you need to do to listen to the replays, and this goes for you, David, and for everybody else, all our listeners, go to the website www.actively askdoclive.com. That website is also noted in the post comments here. So take a picture with your phone or write that down. You can also subscribe by giving your email on askdoclive.com, and that way you'll get an email with the direct link to the replays. You can share those with everybody. You can fast forward, rewind, pause, get to the pieces you want to listen to and make notes, and so much more if you do not want to listen to the whole entire replay. It's a great resource, and as Doc said, they are posted on the website forever. So with that, we're going to address some questions that are posted in the chat, and we encourage everybody to raise your virtual hand over here. The first question we have, these are some general questions, Doc, so I'm not going to call upon the person.
Sure.
One asks, is there a particular, what is a good yogurt? I know you love yogurts as well. Is there a particular yogurt you like?
I like the ones that have, let's see here, no gluten, no sugar, and they have lemon flavor. They have your kind of the grindings of the lemon skin with the lemon oil. They also, I have one that has a strawberry one, and they come in little 4-ounce. Was it Nasuma or something like that? Not Nasima. No mas or something like that.
Okay.
But they come like 20 in a box of these little 4-ounce packages. Oh, it's strawberry and rhubarb. That's one of my favorites. Got these big chunks of rhubarb in there. Very, very nice, and they're spicy and so forth. But they don't have any gluten and they don't have any sugar added to it. So I just love them. And I have 2 with breakfast every morning, along with all my eggs and my wild rice and my salmon and my eggs and all that kind of stuff. My breakfast is my big meal of the day. Okay. And so I reverse it, where most people, their big meal of the day is dinner. My big meal of the day is breakfast, and I have a small lunch and a medium-sized dinner, because I have to give Zooms and lectures. I'll be in Australia tonight on my Zoom every Friday night. And so that's kind of exciting. I have to get my Aussie talk up. Good day, mate.
Thank you, mate. Doc, that leads us to our very next question. Any particular type of salmon, is cold smoked better than hot smoked, or is hot smoked better than cold smoked, or is there a difference?
I don't think there's much of a difference, as long as the salmon isn't really burnt. If it's really, really cooked too much, then you turn the salmon oil that's in the actual salmon flesh into bad stuff. And so if you're not quite sure how to gauge that, I'd go with the cold smoked, as opposed to the hot smoked.
Thank you, Doc. And another great question here. I know you've mentioned this many times before, but what kind of beers can a beer drinker have to avoid gluten?
Gluten-free beer. Now, gluten-free beer is consumed by the Japanese, by the Chinese, by the Australians and the New Zealanders. And the big liquor stores have Australian and New Zealand and Japanese and Chinese beers. I think there's one company in the United States that makes a rice beer, but Japan, China, Korea, Vietnam, Australia, New Zealand all make a rice beer.
And I wanted to mention too that you mentioned your very new book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. If you're not able to find that on askdoclive.com, please go to DRJ Wallach, that's WALLACH.com. These books are by Dr. Joel Wallach and his wife, Dr. Milan. Or you can always contact us if you're unable to find a book, CD, DVD, or a product. With that, again, in turn here, we will go to the virtual hands raised up. I'm going to ask Renee and Bill B to unmute yourself, and please go ahead and ask your question. Again, mention your weight, height, and age. We want to get through as many questions as we can with Dr. Wallach. Please go ahead.
I'm coming. Okay. This is Renee, my husband, Bill. He's scheduled, he's diabetic. He's 74, going on 75, weighs about 175 pounds, 6'1" and shrinking. Let's see. He his kidney function has gone down to 13%, and he's scheduled for a graft surgery on Tuesday. The question is, how can he increase his kidney function and avoid dialysis?
Okay. Well, first of all, he's got to get rid of all the bad foods. You got to get rid of all the bad foods. The dog, the cat, the bird, fish, everybody in the household's got to be gluten-free. No wheat, butter, rye, and oats, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, rye, and oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then at 175 pounds, I would have Bill take 2 of the healthy brain and heart packs per month. That's our big hammer in the toolbox. Covers a lot of territory. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything at breakfast and dinner. I'd have him get 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so he can take 3 with each meal. They're going to support and promote maintenance and repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, which includes the kidneys, the heart, and skin, and bones, and joints, all kinds of stuff. Also, he needs, let's see here, since he's scheduled maybe for dialysis, I would have him get 3 bottles a month of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, so he can take 3 with each meal. They will support healthy blood pressure. They will also support healthy blood flow through the blocked arteries in the kidneys, and the kidney function will very rapidly improve. I mean, I've had people who were diabetics for 30, 40 years, and in 30 days, they're next diabetic. Doctors throw up their hands and say, we don't know why, but they're not a diabetic anymore. And then that's the kidney function. For the diabetes, he needs 2 bottles a month of our sweeties, so he can take 3 twice a day again. Just like with the kidneys, don't drop your diabetes medication, whether it's injections or pills, either one, but you continue to take your blood sugar levels. And as the blood sugar drops, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the number, just like you've been taught to do. And again, it doesn't take long for a diabetic who's been a brittle diabetic for 30 years. In 30 days, they could be an ex-diabetic. Their body has a huge capacity to heal itself, but it needs raw materials to do it. These raw materials are not found in our food. And that's why you must supplement with them. And then people say, well, how long do I have to stay on these supplements? Well, as long as you need oxygen and water. Okay. Because after you get back to normal blood sugar and you stop taking all this, well, within 6 months' time, you'll be a diabetic again, because these nutrients are not found in your food. So I hope that helps you out there.
Yes. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. We will go to Carolyn, who has her hands raised. Carolyn, please unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Let me try to get my video on. Okay.
There
Hi.
you go.
Hi, Dr. Wallach. Thank you so much, and I thank Susan Bostwick
Yes,
so much. She's been helping me tremendously, and I just am under a lot of stress. I have the bones in my spine. When I move, they all click when I turn, and I go down the stairs and I creak a lot. And let's see, I have a lot of dry-
While you're thinking, how old are you?
I'm 65.
And how much do you weigh?
100 and probably 30 right now.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'3".
All right. Any other issues? High blood pressure, diabetes?
No, but I have a lack of focus, some anxiety, lack of focus.
Okay.
My eyes, a lot of issues with my eyes lately, like a lot of dry eye.
Okay. Do you have any ringing in your ears? Any tinnitus or ringing in your ears?
No.
Do you have any balance problems?
Lately, balance, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about anything going on in your hands or wrists or arms? Any burning, numbness, pain, that kind of stuff?
I'm a sculptor. They're always hurting.
Okay.
So I do have a lot of pain in my hands.
Okay. Would you have what would be called like the Pope of sciatica thing going on? You know, this,
Sometimes I have sciatica, sometimes.
okay, comes and goes. Do you have any bowel problems, any constipation or diarrhea?
My
Your
whole
old
life, constipation, my whole life.
Okay, okay, guts, okay. And anything going on with your heart, any irregular heartbeat or fast heart rate, slow heart rate, anything like that?
Yes, I've had arrhythmias and it's mostly from coffees. When I have coffee, I get arrhythmias.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Well, you have osteoporosis of the skull that's creating this vertigo or dizziness. Could also cause anxiety, could cause eye problems, hearing problems, all that kind of stuff. And also the anxiety, all right, osteoporosis of the skull. And then when you have stuff going on in your bowels, the odds are you have a gluten problem, you know, like the Pope, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome, that kind of stuff. Okay. And so what I need you to do is get off all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no bioranos, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And then at 130 pounds, I want you to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, but I want you to get another bottle of Arcelium, not from Walgreens, but Arcelium, because I got these 5 cofactors there. I want you to get another bottle of Arcelium. One bottle of Arcelium comes with the healthy brain and heart pack, because I want you to have 3 of those twice a day or 2, 3 times a day for a total of 6 a day. Then I want you to get 1 bottle a month of our MSM. So you can take 3 twice a day, and they will support and promote maintenance or repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae. Very important here for you. Connective tissue, good for the skull, and all that kind of stuff. And then it will also be good for the hands and so forth, and also good for the sciatica type stuff. Also, the intestines is going to be helped because you're going to get rid of gluten, no wheat, brown, rye, and oats. But don't forget, you do need the glucogel. I'd go ahead and get 5 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. If you prefer the liquid, you can get 2 quarts a day and take an ounce twice a day of our glucogel. And also, I would throw in 3 of the Fucoid Z capsules twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And they are minerals that come from 8 or 9 different seaweeds and algae and stuff like that from the ocean. And they help rebuild your bone marrow, which is your immune system. Also produces red blood cells and white blood cells and antibodies and platelets and stuff like that. Also very, very good for supporting, again, your immune system. Also has to do with your connective tissue. So you really, really, really want to throw those 3 of the Fucoid Z capsules twice a day. And let's see, I think that should cover it. That should cover it. Okay.
Okay.
And give us a call every couple of weeks. You're going to have a great story. Your kind of situation, the picture you're giving, is very common in middle-aged people in America, 40 to say 70 years of age. This is very, very common. Some people have 10 different diseases, 15 different diseases, 20 different diseases, 25 different diseases, 50 different diseases. These are all pre-existing conditions.
Right.
And yeah, and we you know, have those 4 books. I would get them. Let's Play Doctor, Let's Play Herbal Doctor, Passport to Aromatherapy, and it's all in your head. And learn how to deal with all these diseases, how to diagnose them, how to monitor them, and how to give your body the raw materials it needs to rebuild yourself so those diseases go away.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, Carolyn.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Doc. So with that, I just want to let everybody know, those particular who have their virtual hands up, please be set up on your video ahead of time. If you've got your video up and your virtual hand up, I will call upon you. And this way, we're not taking time for you to get set up on your video. We want to get to as many questions as possible. So with that, I'm going to go to a question that has come into the chat. And I know, Doc, you've talked about this before. It's about the vaccination for the COVID-19. Any preference on the three kinds? Any recommendations? Why would one want to choose one over the other? And is it completely a personal choice?
Well, let's see here. I've had the two Moderna vaccinations because I get on airplanes and the first thing I want to see is your proof of vaccination. So I had to do that. And so I've had the Moderna that has the best statistics for efficiency, effectiveness, and doesn't have many bad side effects. Where the J&J, the Johnson & Johnson, I'm hearing that they have all kinds of bad things going on. And so I personally went with the Moderna. Okay, so that's why I went that direction. And I haven't, I'm 82 years old. I haven't had any side effects. I was vaccinated, I think, it's got to be 5 months ago now. No side effects, nothing, not even the next day, no local pain or discomfort, no swelling. And then I went back 30 days later, got the second one. I was always the first one in line. The pharmacy would open up for the vaccinations at 8 o'clock, and I would get there at 7. And I would have my little thermos, full of my drinks and stuff like that. And I'm doing all my stuff. So as soon as they got there, I was the first one, and I was out of there. I didn't have to stand behind 30, 40, 50 people and have them coughing and sneezing and, sweating all over the place and so on. And so that's why I went there so early, so I could be first in line every time. And, I carry in my wallet my little vaccination proof. So I'm covered there. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Doc. We will go to Annie Spots, who has her hand raised. Go ahead and mute yourself, Annie, and thank you for being on video ahead of time.
Hello there. Yeah, I've been on the program for a while, like 6 months now, with the everything, and then the Healthy Heart and Brain Pack, and I also take the MSN and monthly. But I'm still, I had my knee x-ray, my knee, and they said it was bone on bone. Does this actually, I do not want surgery of any kind.
Okay, how much do you weigh?
I weigh, I'm 5'6" and weigh 128.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 73.
Do you have any other issues? High blood pressure, diabetes?
I have relatively high blood pressure. I have, I am taking a meloxicam, which is an NSAID for arthritis. And I've tried not to take it for a few days and I really feel the difference. I also had a ICD pacemaker defibrillator put in 2018. I had a ventricular tachycardia.
Mm-hmm.
And I do.
Okay.
No,
okay, stop. Do you have any ringing in your ears or balance problems?
I know ringing in my ears, no.
Do you have any varicose veins or spider veins in your legs and ankles and feet?
Yes.
Okay, and you do have some silver hair?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you have several things going on. You got multiple nutritional deficiencies. You have osteoporosis all over the place. And so you need to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, bran, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And then at 128 pounds, I want you to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month, but I also want you to get another bottle of Arslenium, not from Walgreens, because it's the 5 cofactors I'm looking for here. I want you to take 6 of those seleniums a day, 2 with each meal or 3 twice a day, whatever you want to do. Then I also want you to have 1 bottle a month for MSM. Take 3 of those twice a day, and they will support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone, makes the bone itself. And then I also want you to have, again, for your joints and your bones and this kind of stuff, I want you also to take some glucogel. You can take either, it's your body weight, you could take 3 of the glucogel capsules twice a day. It'll be 1 bottle a month. Or if you prefer the liquid, you could take an ounce twice a day. That'll be 2 bottles a month of the liquid glucogel. That's going to help rebuild the cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue. And then I also want you to get 2 bottles a month of our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day, and that will support healthy blood pressure and healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And then for the pain, and it should go away in 30 to 60 days, gradually, not suddenly, but it should go away if you're absorbing. I mean, I deal with professional athletes all the time with these sort of issues, and it never fails. So if you have an absorption problem because you're eating gluten or you're working in a bakery or in a church and you're handing out bread and stuff like that, you can't do that. It's got to be, I mean, drop dead gluten-free. And then don't forget our Rebound or sports drink for energy. Has 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals, and also 25 vitamins, amino acids. It wouldn't hurt also to throw in some of our Cal Toddy. You could throw in some Cal Toddy. The Cal Toddy will add more calcium and more minerals to your program. All right, so I'd go that direction. And then call us every 2 weeks. We'll walk you through this. This should be very simple, very straightforward, but you got to make sure drop dead, gluten-free, can't even say the word. Everybody in your household, you cannot be cooking gluten for other people because you're gonna cross-contaminate yourself, you absorb it through your skin. You absorb the dust if you're making pancakes, stuff like that. And that's why we came out with Dr. Wallach's, okay? Dr. Wallach's cooking without the bad foods.
Okay.
And so we had 3 top chefs from Eastern Canada work on this for 3 years in restaurants. So we had huge numbers of people using my recipes, okay, and getting feedback on the taste, texture, and what it did for them when they would come back next week, because we sent them home with the questionnaires and stuff like that. And so the books are out now, and I'm very, very excited because it's going to help a lot of people. And I know that there's some place you're getting cross-contaminated, or you're underdosing yourself, or you're leaving a piece out or something, because you can't be doing everything right for months and not seeing benefit.
Okay, which book explains why you can't have any gluten?
Well, the book, let's see here. I would go with Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. I would go with Immortality.
All of them.
Immortality.
Okay.
Okay, then Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. And I would also go with, we have a book and a CD called Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
Okay.
The only time a doctor won't lie is when he's dead.
That's true.
And the CD serial killers, correct, Dr. Wallach?
Yeah, serial killers is good. Epigenetics. I mean, go to www.drjwallach.com and kind of look through them. There's little summaries on all the books there, and it'll tell you, which one you might be interested in. www.drjwallach.com. And there's 15 books. There's 50 DVDs. There's over 100 CDs. And of course, my 75 scientific articles are published, and you can go to my bio and see my published articles. And my thesis is in the Smithsonian Institute, represents 20,000 autopsies on a $25 million grant from NIH and University, Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri, and Barnes Hospital. And it represents 20,000 autopsies, and it's considered a national treasure in the Smithsonian Institute. I'm very, very proud of that.
Doc, thank you, Annie. Doc, we are so proud of you. Thank you for your service and all the information and valuable things you do for us and lectures, all free of charge, free consultations. We have a couple of questions and we'll try and squeeze them in before we end the call today.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Sonia. Sonia, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. Please go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Doctor. Yeah, hello. Yeah, I was on last week, and I've got my son with me today. It's not all about me today. It's about my son Dexter, who has schizophrenia for over a couple of years now.
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
He's beside me right now. So
How much does he? Okay. How much does he weigh?
Dexter.
I weigh 83 kg.
Okay, so that's what, 170 pounds, 180 pounds?
And he's
6'2", and I'm 35.
Okay. Again, where are you from?
Britain,
Brisbane?
UK.
UK.
Oh,
Yeah.
UK, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because you got that English accent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, here we go. When you have behavioral issues, schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, those kind of things, it's always nutrition to the brain. So you need to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown rhinos, no sugar, no carb. I'm talking to millions of people too. They got to hear the same thing, right? So bear with me. And so got to get rid of all the bad stuff. No sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet stuff's got to go. And then 180 pounds, I want you to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. In case there's some osteoporosis of the skull, I want you to take 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 times a day. That'll support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, discs between the vertebrae, bone mixture, bone itself, including the skull. Then I want you to take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month to make sure you're getting plenty of blood flow into the brain and venous flow out of the brain. Then I want you to have our Synaptive, take our Synaptive, 2 bottles a month, so you can take 3 of those twice a day. That's the raw material for your brain cells to make the chemicals so they can talk to each other. Brain cells can talk to each other. It's called Synaptive. Take 3 of those twice a day. You also want to take the de-stress capsules, take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That has to do with the metabolism of the brain cells. And then lastly, I would go ahead and take the 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. No hard-boiled eggs, no fried eggs. You need 3 eggs twice a day. Or you're not on statin drugs, are you, to lower cholesterol?
I'm only on one for my schizophrenia. It's just it's called risperidone, 2 milligrams.
Okay. Yeah, but no drugs to lower cholesterol.
I don't know what that is.
Cholesterol, okay, that's good. I want you to eat those 3 eggs twice a day, not fried, not hard boiled.
I do have a problem. I'm constipated most of the time.
Well, if you get rid of the gluten, see, you're eating like an Englishman. You're eating gluten. You're eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. You got to stop that. If you have any wheat, barley, rye, and oats in the house, you give it to your doctor with love, just like 007 gave all this stuff to Russia with love. So any gluten, don't say, well, we just finished the gluten in the house. Well, that could be enough to kill you. So you want to give the gluten to the doctor, okay? And you want to eat like an Asian, rice, sweet potatoes, beans, squash, okay? And one last thing I would throw in there is I would throw in, to make sure you got plenty of circulation of the brain, the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. And that will support healthy blood pressure, but also healthy blood flow into the arteries of the brain, the heart, and the kidneys, and so on. And I do want you to call us every couple of weeks, because your story is going to help a lot of people. At your age,
will this help depression as well? Depression and erectile dysfunction.
Yes. Okay, now you just added erectile dysfunction. You didn't say that before.
Well, you were talking, so I just wanted you to finish. So I was gonna,
Okay. Well, you need to tell me everything in the beginning. Okay. Stop.
I mean, I would show my face on camera, but because of what I'm talking about, it's kind of personal. I don't want people to see my face, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, millions of people are looking at your face right now.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's me. I'm the mother. He doesn't want to show his face because he's quite embarrassed.
Okay. Okay. Now stop talking. He needs to take our Zera test. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. Zera test. They give the Sertoli cells of the testicles the raw materials to make testosterone. 3 Zera test tablets twice a day. I'm 82 years old and I do that. I'm 8 years old. I don't have any problems. Okay. Okay. So give us a call every couple of weeks. Even if you think, I'm not quite sure, I may have some benefit. I don't know. Just call us every 2 weeks. So you're starting to call on a regular basis, because people can say, whatever happened? And is that Derek is your name?
Dexter.
Dexter. Okay. Dexter. Okay. Dexter. Okay. So we look forward to hearing from you in a couple of weeks, but let's get going here. As soon as you hang up, package up all those bad foods and send it to your doctor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you bet. Bye-bye.
Thank you
very much, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you, Sonia. We'll go to one last question quick before we end today. Again, just a reminder, the replays are available on askdoclive.com. Circle back with the person who invited you to get started or continue with the longevity products or upgrade yourself to a distributor status. If you're brand new, reply to the email that invited you or go to askdoclive.com. With that, I'm going to call on Dimitri. Dimitri, please unmute yourself.
Hey, Doc Wallach.
Hi, what's up?
You are a national treasure. You helped me with so many of my health issues. I want to just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, thank you so much for the kind words. Anything else we can do new for you today, or somebody you're bringing questions for, or just is this a testimony?
Yes, sir. I do have some questions. This is the first time I've talked to you. I am working with someone. However, I just got my results back from the trace elements, and I'm a little concerned about a couple of things. I do want to tell you what my issues are just to make sure I'm taking the right things.
Okay, we need to quickly go here.
Okay. All right. So I have the osteoporosis of the skull, got many issues, ringing in the ears, spider veins, diverticulitis, silver hair. Most of this stuff's all going away. But I have a couple concerns on the food. It says don't take any vitamin D, and I wanted to make sure that, I'm getting these and to avoid salt. And I know you're a big proponent of these. I want to make sure I'm,
Who's saying don't take vitamin D and don't take salt?
the results from the trace elements.
Oh, okay, forget it. You use our pink Himalayan salt, and you take how much do you weigh?
195.
Okay, I want you to take a minimum of 3 of our vitamin D3 capsules twice a day.
Okay.
I weigh 142 and I take 3 twice a day.
Okay.
Next question.
It says get rid of the salt. You said, salt.
No, salt more. I put salt
Okay.
on my eggs. I put salt on my sweet potatoes. I put salt on my meat. I put salt on my fish. I put salt on everything.
Okay, and it says I have a slow metabolism. Is there anything special I should be taking for that?
Okay, well, the 90 essential nutrients, which is good for your liver and your pancreas and your intestines and all that kind of stuff. But if you want to increase your energy because you have a slow metabolism, don't forget our Rebound or sports drink with 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids.
Yeah, I drink that. I love it, but it tells me not to drink juice too, so I'm kind of freaked
That's
out
not
about
juice. That's not
Okay.
juice.
Okay.
Yeah, juice is orange juice, apple juice, that kind of stuff. You don't want to drink that. You don't want to drink any of those things. They're just nothing but sugar.
Okay. Well, I'm on a great track and things are doing great. So that's really, I'm just going to stick with the program.
Yeah, stick with the program and call us every couple of weeks because, people like to hear testimonies and questions like, can I take salt? Of course, salt is one of the earliest known supplements. Goes back to the beginning of time. When people in the Bible, when people were very special people, there were angels on earth. What did God call these people? They were what? The salt of the earth.
Salt of the earth? Yeah, salt of the earth. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, if somebody's good, would God name something bad after you? No. Okay.
Hey, Doc, they on the good food, bad food list, it says the rice with the, it takes away from with the minerals. You said you eat rice a couple times a day. I love rice.
Yep.
But can I eat rice and take the supplements at the same time or not?
Well, of course. But just, I eat wild rice, 3 big scoops of wild rice twice a day. And I put my pink Himalayan salt on it. All right. With 84 minerals in it. If in breakfast at dinner time, I'll put the pink Himalayan salt with the ground black pepper in it. That's all from our Savor division. I've been eating rice for 74 years. Yeah, I gave up gluten 74 years ago. And I'm pretty good for 82.
Doc, thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I would just say one thing about the salt issue. That came into play about 100 years ago when people started getting congestive heart failure, which was not common until 100 years ago, because of diet and stuff that was going on with their food. Suddenly now everybody's getting congestive heart failure and they're getting edema in the legs. And when you salt your food, the edema would get worse. You say, salt is bad for you. And so people stop using salt. And then doctors got in training in school, tell people not to take salt, tell people not to take salt. And then they started getting digestive problems. I have belching and burping and bloating. Well, that's because your stomach is too alkaline or neutral, and bacteria growing in there and fermenting the food, where your stomach environment should be a pH of 2. It should be as acid as your battery acid in your car. Then bacteria won't grow in there and you won't have belching and burping and bloating and that kind of stuff. But doctors went too far when they said, don't use salt because it's bad for you. No, that's not true. Salt has 2 essential nutrients, sodium and chloride. Every cell in your body requires sodium and chloride. So anybody who gives up salt is going to shorten their life by 25 to 50 years. You're going to shorten your life by 25 to 50 years. I want to lengthen your life by 25 to 50 years. So salt your food to taste. I do it my 2 big meals, breakfast and dinner time. And for lunch, I have cheese and, Rebound and stuff like that. Kind of a light lunch because they have so many Zooms and that kind of stuff during the day. Okay. All right.
Sounds
Naseema.
great. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, everybody, for attending today and participating. Do listen to the replays. I know we've just gone a couple of minutes over. And with that, happy weekend and thank you to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. Thank you, Naseema.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
Marcella and Naseema. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.